applause, everybody, for Chris Edgerly, David Hayter, and Billy West. Right over there, Billy. You're right there.
Okay. No.
Billy should be in the middle.
I'm cranky. I need a nap. Don't push me.
I'm gonna
Snap.
put down my personal effects and all my cash right here. Okay. It's not a lot.
So, new.
Party time. Party time.
Did I do that or did you do that?
Oh, we're going. It's all over the place.
It's the new thing.
If you need a water, let me.
Poltergeist.
So, welcome, guys. Welcome to Tampa. Excited to have you here.
Hello, Mr. Man.
Great to be here.
Thank you for having us. It's pretty great to be
Hi,
here.
everybody.
Hello.
How's the fentanyl around here? Any good? No?
I'm looking for some pharmaceutical grade codeine for Billy. I said, okay.
You guys, this is our diehards. They're here on a Sunday, but they have a bunch of them lined up for questions. So we're just going to jump right into it, guys, to get as many questions as we can.
Sure.
Because they want to talk to you. So let's do it right here.
You think those are empty seats, but they're not. It's AI. I have the most emptiest beige seats ever in the world, in history.
That's right. These are the best empty seats like never before. No one's ever seen empty seats like these.
Hey, hello everyone. Chris, Sid, and then as well David Hayter, the one and only Solid Snake. Not Kiefer Sutherland, it's you.
Yes, that's correct.
And then for Billy West, I met you earlier at MegaCon this year, and it's nice to meet you again.
Was I nice? Was I nice to you?
Of course you were, and you absolutely killed it at the Lion King reading.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Well, we got tons more fun to happen today.
All right, my question for you though, Billy, is do you owe yourself a debt of gratitude to Eric Bauza for voicing Stimpy in Adult Party Cartoon when you refused to do it?
Do I owe him?
Yeah, like
No, all I owe anybody is a good performance. I don't have to tell you about my social strata and how I feel about people, but I'll tell you that I do love him and that he's wicked talented. He's I think he's like an heir apparent to Mel Blanc. I mean, better than anybody. You know, 'cause my interest, I wasn't interested in being a mimic per se, but I could do it. And so, like, if someone said, well, you want to audition for this one or that one, I would always do it. But I prefer to do original voices. And I haven't heard Eric's original character work. I know he can replicate, but I'm missing out because I gotta do some research and go look him up. But I wanted nothing to do with that Adult Party cartoon. I knew what they were up to. You know, and it's weird, you know, if you're gonna, they were trying to be bold and outrageous, and if you're gonna do gay stuff, you better be funny, or you're dead. You know what I mean? And it wasn't funny. It was easy and low and cheap, lowbrow. You know, they had technology and they had money, and it was like, hey, we can put the arms on the Venus de Milo. What are we waiting for? You know, so there was no art there. It was nothing. It was garbage, and I wanted nothing to do with it. But it doesn't mean I won't do another version of it. Shh. Don't tell anybody. They'll whack my pee-pee. I'll get cornered in a dark alley by Paramount. Yeah, you people are scary. Yeah, so there you go. Now you know.
Thank you.
Get out. Get out.
Next question.
Hi. Sorry. My question is for Mr. Hayter. For your more recent roles in games like Republic and Like a Dragon, were there any unique challenges compared to working on Metal Gear Solid, for example?
Not particularly. You know, there's not a lot of challenges to doing voiceover. It's the funnest job in the world. The one thing was when they wanted me to do Kashiwagi on Like a Dragon, I was like, he's like an old tough guy, and I was like, well, I don't want to sound like Snake, and it's just the older I get, the more I just sound like Snake. So I didn't want that to happen. So I was trying to figure out what I could, like, how could I do a cool old guy, and then I thought, well, I'll do like a Harrison Ford kind of
pick up on that. Yeah.
kind of thing. I don't know if it sounds like Harrison Ford, but it's my bad impression, and so that's where he came from, and so that was the challenge, I suppose. But it was pretty fun. I'm so glad to be doing that part.
Big fan. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you again.
He's doing shtick.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing.
I work alone.
You guys are great. Final Fantasy and God knows how many things Billy West has done. But my question
thank you.
is for David Hayter. Not a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people know you do screenplay work, but my question is, between X-Men and Watchmen, if you have any special stories or maybe something that you didn't get put in that you wanted to put in, or something that you wrote that...
I'll tell you, yeah, so my favorite one of those is... so for X-Men 2, so I'm a screenwriter. I wrote X-Men and X-Men 2 and Watchmen and blah, blah, blah. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Well deserved. So my favorite one was, so for X-Men 2, I wrote this scene, there's this whole thing where Wolverine is in love with Jean, but she's with Scott, and it's this whole love triangle or whatever. So I wrote this scene where they're all camped out, and Jean crawls into his tent and, starts kissing Wolverine and stuff, and he's like, whoa, what's going on, like this? And then he touches her stomach and feels the 3 claw marks that he gave to Mystique in the first movie. And he pushes her away, and she says, no one's ever left a scar like you before.
I thought they filmed that.
They did, but you'll understand in a second.
Oh, okay.
So he goes, what do you want? And she goes, you know what I want. Question is, what do you want? And she turns into all the X-women.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, she turns into Jean, and he holds her and says, stay like this. And they drift out of camera. The next morning, Jean is working on the jet, and she sees herself crawling out of the tent, and it's this weird moment, and Mystique gives her a wink, and it's really edgy and cool like this, right? So, yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes. So I go to the premiere. I wasn't on set for the on-set rewrites, so I go to the premiere, and she says, no one's ever left a scar like you before. He goes, what do you want, an apology? And she goes, you know what I want. The question is, what do you want? And she turns into all the X-women, and then she turns into William Stryker and goes, what do you really want, like this? And he's like, get out, like this. And I told my friend this, who knows, Brian and the whole crew, and he goes, oh, they gated up on you. And I was like, yeah. So that was my favorite weird thing that happened.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's funny.
First off, good afternoon. My question is out of the box, simple and short. What is the strangest thing that y'all have ever eaten and liked?
Strangest thing we've ever eaten and liked? I love how these voice acting related questions drift into...
I said out of the box.
I ate rattlesnake meat once. Yeah, and it was good.
Really?
Okay, here's it. We have a family or friends of family who live in Australia. They came and visited. They brought Vegemite. I'd never tried Vegemite before. They can't even actually accurately describe to you what Vegemite is. They just know that they have it, and everybody seems to eat it. And I put some on a cracker. And I cannot explain to you how violent the taste of Vegemite is. And every sense you have, every reflex you have says, don't keep this down. Get rid of this. And I ate it, and I liked it, and I finished the whole damn jar in a week.
Really?
I even posted about it. I even said, God help me, I like Vegemite.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Did you ever find out what it really is, though?
No.
Is it like rotted vegetables?
I think I saw some of it running off of one of the factories off the bay here. And there's a guy with a Vegemite jar just sort of collecting it. There was a kayaker going by it.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, there you go, Vegemite.
Thank you,
Thanks, sir. Sorry, I didn't prepare a bit or anything, so don't worry about it. Just want to say thank you, first of all, for all the entertainment you guys have provided over the years, all the great entertainment, I should say. Given that you have a lot of projects that sometimes can go months or years doing the same voice, how do you prepare yourself to replicate that without having done it, for 5 years, maybe in Billy's case with Futurama, or a year or two? How do you get those voices back?
Well, it's really about the attitude of the character. Like it's remembering what the soul of the character is, and if I can remember who I thought they were, I instinctively know what I would have done as an actor. So that's kind of how I pick up.
They have to remind you a little.
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes they'll play the voice for you.
Yes, playback and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's the easiest way. But I do find it's like picking up an old book that you love and going back to it. You fall back into it. I find.
Did you see the movie I Know That Voice? John DiMaggio's movie?
Yeah. You guys should watch that. It's excellent documentary.
It was really hard to find, though. Like when it first came out, I kept trying to watch it, and I was getting errors. I don't know if it was the streaming service or what.
Oh, you should have called Johnny. He would have sent it to you.
I lost
no, you know what? All that movie would answer any and all questions that you are thinking about, because the characters in most of the people like Tom Kenny and most of us would say you have to remember the musicality of a character. It's like its cadence and its ups and downs, and then the voice kind of falls right into place if you can remember the infrastructure of the character. And like if you couldn't hear Yogi Bear saying words, but you could hear his sound, you'd be like, na 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 na, and you would almost say, well, okay, now the voice will fall right into that music and the timing of it, and so that's how I remember anything. It's like Fry was always whiny and nasally and complainy, and I was in a band and I had to remember what I sounded like when I was 25, because they pulled that character out and I didn't know I was auditioning for it. So I said, and I was in a band and I would go, oh shit, I broke a string. Now what am I gonna do? I was like, and I used it for him. And the rest of the characters all have their own musicality, so it's not hard to remember them, especially since you love them so much. Yeah, they're family to you. Yeah, because I don't have any family. All my family is two-dimensional.
Well, at least you don't have to have holidays with them then.
Huh?
You don't have to have any holidays with them then. You just call whenever you want them.
No.
Yeah. Chris? Same thing for you, Chris? Or?
No, anything that gets in the way of a work day bothers me. I just want to work. I'm a journeyman. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I've been doing Pathfinder for about 6-7 years, because we were working on the game for at least a year before it came out. And that's not a very long time when you're looking at the breadth of some of these other characters you've been doing for a while, right? But for Pathfinder, I honestly, they'll play me a reference, but Pathfinder, I remember, is just the happiest version of me possible. I just think dad joke, boom, I'm in character. That's it.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a technical switch you flip, and you're there, and your brain follows. So
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
So my question for Mr. Billy West is, when it comes to your role as Philip J. Fry in Futurama, has there been any moments where you're voicing the character and you just got to a moment to where it was just a very sad and dark moment for the character that you just felt bad for them?
Well, you want to live it as much as possible. When you're acting and all that, you want to be in that space and forget about everything else. And so, I used to, what I listened to? Sports guys, old sports guys, like guys who were coaches of teams and stuff. You ever hear their last speech that they'd give? And they go, I'd like to thank the fellas in the Hall of Fame. They're struggling to not cry. And there's some sound that I wish I could get it down, but it intrigues me when they're ready to break apart, but they're men and they're like, I can't,
right.
I'd like to thank the fellas in the Hall of Fame, and we had a good run, you know. And that stuff to me is artistry, and I try to find junk like that and throw it into the characters, especially since you mentioned somebody being sad. It's not just fun to watch somebody break down and cry. I mean, there's only so much to that. But to watch someone struggling, having an internal struggle, like I can't show weakness. I'm the captain of this damn team, you know. And internal struggles are cool, fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they say if you're going to play drunk, try to play sober, because drunks are always trying to appear sober. If you're trying to cry, try not to cry.
Yes.
You know, fight it, and you will find it's bringing this well of all your own stuff up into it. And yeah, that's what I thought of when you said that. When these tough guys trying not to cry, it just makes it worse. Yeah.
But I mean,
it makes it more obvious.
It gives more dimension to a character, and it's not just, you know, I don't know, these new cartoons that all look like children's refrigerator art. You know, I don't get it. But everything, come on, everybody, let's go. You know, these high-pitched, genderless voices, cloying, annoying. And there's nothing to it. There's not another dimension. They don't emotionally resonate or anything. And so what we try to do is put as much little inner life in there, pre-life, post-life, you know, little addendums. And you want to give somebody a gift, you know. You don't want to throw voices out the window and say, you know, okay, I'm all done. I'm going home now.
Right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yes.
I have to say this because you guys are so talented. There's so many people who can do impersonations. People do impersonations, and that's a cool skill. But you truly are voice actors. And when you guys aren't on screen, so you have to throw so much through your voice. And you are so good at it that people have found they resonate with these other people. Like, people love your characters because of your voice acting. And it truly is. It's a talent and it's a skill. It's not very common. You guys, it's just amazing. You guys do a great job with that.
Yeah. Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah. We were talking last night about this trend of casting movie stars in voice roles, and and it's like,
he'll be okay.
Yeah,
he does this every 8 minutes.
Yeah. And the problem with movie stars is they're used to just using their face, and a lot of them don't have dynamic voices, and they don't understand the extra bit you have to put in to really hook the audience, to make them feel the things you want them to feel, because they can't see your face, they can't see your eyes or whatever, and they don't understand the level of talent that goes into what these gentlemen do to express so much more through their voices, but still make it sound natural. You know, so it's a specific thing, and I wish movie stars would
I wish
stop
I
doing
had the
that.
liberty of being who and what I was for everything I did. I never had to worry about changing up or anything. It's like, oh, everybody knows what I sound like, and I'll just do me.
Right.
That's basically it. But they come in at the highest level. To me, it's like sending a bunch of highly skilled plumbers to win the World Series for you. You know, they're really great and everything, but you don't belong in Fenway Park. You just don't. Huh? Boston. Yeah. But I resented it for years, and everybody said, boy, are you bitter. Nobody wants to hear from a bitter guy. And I said, I care about keeping the bar off the ground. Right. You know, seriously. If it's... And the celebrities come in, the bar falls on the floor. But I remember years ago, they had to depend on us to come in, and the producers would go, you see that bar of lead on the table? We'd like you to turn it to gold before you leave. Could you do that? And you're like, yeah. You know, there it is. And there's alchemy. Something changed into something else. That's what you're doing with your voice, your instrument. And if you don't have that alchemy where something doesn't change into something else, there's nothing magical about it. You know? It's the best way I can put it, really.
I had a one moment of this that I think might touch on that. Is I worked on a Oliver Stone documentary, I think The People's History of the United States or something like that, Untold History of the United States. So I auditioned and got the part of being Harry S. Truman's voice match. And you listen to his, so you listen to his tapes and all that, and you put yourself into his shoes and you do the voice match and all that. And then you have to be able to take the dialogue they give you and read it now as Harry, his personal letters. But this is exactly what you guys are talking about. I walk into the offices of Oliver Stone's office, and Oliver Stone's there to direct me, and he looks at me. And I was in my 40s at the time, and I looked probably younger than that. And you could tell Stone is a guy who's used to working with movie stars who look exactly the way he thinks they're supposed to look. Right. And in walks his Harry S. Truman, who looks like this. And he looked at me and said, "You're my Truman?" I said, "Yeah." And he looked at his assistant and he said, "So we okayed this, right?" And I thought, I am so fired right now. And it's because he couldn't get over the fact that it's possible for a person to sound different than they look. Now, to his credit, he has won Oscars for a reason. He shut his eyes, he listened to me, and he thought, oh, okay, he's a voice actor. And suddenly I was Harry S. Truman, and I could adopt sort of the Missouri sort of way of speaking, and I would do that. Thank you. Yeah. You just heard me not get myself fired. I thought, all right, you got one take to dig yourself out of this hole that he dug for you, but it's because movie stars, look, they're awesome. I go see their movies. I love them. But you're right. They just have this thing that pops on screen, but the mic doesn't pick that up. And so that's why you have to show that it's possible to do it a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's an amazing talent that you guys have. And it truly is. It's a skill and a craft, and it's wonderful. All right, our next question.
Snake, do you believe that love can bloom on the battlefield?
Do I believe that love can bloom on a battlefield? I believe that at any time, any place, two people can fall in love.
Thank you.
So my question is for David Hayter. Recently, Sega put out a poll questioning gamers what celebrities or voice actors they would like to see in upcoming Sega games and franchises. Yep. My question for you is, which particular franchises or games would you like to star in, and which roles would you like to be in those games?
I would like all of them. Any that are badass and cool, and some that are fun and funny. I just saw a poll, and it said, who would you like to see in Like a Dragon? And it was like all these amazing, like LeBron James and like all these massive celebrities. And then my name was on it, and I'm like, I'm already in Like a Dragon. So it was a weird poll. Look, my primary job, I'm a screenwriter, producer, and it's very different from my side job as a voice actor. But voice acting is the best job in the world. So really, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you're doing an indie game and you got enough to pay me scale, I'll do it. So
you got to tell them the real truth, though.
What's that?
It's a business of 95% unemployment, and your job is looking for work.
Well, that's why. If
you can get over that part, anybody that wants to do voiceover and stuff, if you can just get over that part, but we're saving a seat for you. How about that?
That's right.
Thank you.
Great. Next question.
Hi there. I had a question for Billy West. Yes. I would like to know if you have a favorite and least favorite character voice that you've done, and why.
Oh God, when people ask that, it's hard to answer that because you put 1,000% into every little thing, even if it's something that's peripheral. I just can't let it slide by and say, that's good enough for government work or any of that shit,
Reasonable.
No, and so when I auditioned for the characters in Futurama, they showed me the pictures of the characters, and you got some inspiration has to hit you. Luckily, I made all the right guesses that day for choices. Like Zoidberg was portly, and he had all this cool meat hanging off his face, so I figured his speech would be impaired in some way. So I took two different people from show business periphery. One was a guy named George Jessel, who was a marble mouth. Hello, Mama, it's your son George. From the money each week? It's an old Yiddish joke, you wouldn't get it. And it wasn't worth stealing in the first place. But then there was another actor who had a marble mouth named Lou Jacoby, and he was in the first, what what was the movie with when you believe in the New York and the moon and the city? What is it?
Arthur?
Yes, Arthur. He was in that movie, and he leans into Dudley Moore and he goes, "What's it like to have all that money?" It doesn't suck, you know. And so, but the thing is, I took those two guys and smashed them, super collided them, or whatever you cold fused them, whatever you want to call it. And you get like a new voice out of it, and it became, you know, you need an autograph? Why not Zoidberg? No one cares about Zoidberg. No, don't lie to Zoidberg. No one cares about. They only care about the stupid Fry or the robot. Yeah. What?
Emilia Clarke.
Amelia Clark, she can't smell. That's why she loves me. Zoidberg tends to stink. I live in a dumpster. What do you want from me?
I just want to say, young lady, I've known Billy now for a few years, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or so, and I've been trying to get him to do Zoidberg in front of me all that time. So I appreciate.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
That was the coolest thing I ever saw.
I didn't peg you as the shy type. You should have just said, Billy, come on, man.
I said to you once, I was like, so, knowing full well, I was like, so you do Zoidberg? And you were like, yeah, that's right.
No, I didn't.
You did. We were in the van.
I know me. I would have obliged you.
No. I was like, all right, shut it down. Don't ask him. And then that was the greatest thing I ever heard.
Okay, well, I owe you a beer.
Next
question. Take it.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi.
Thank you all for having a part of my life growing up. My main question is for you, David Hayter. I've been wanting to ask this since the last time I saw you when you came through here. It was like 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned a potential partnership with John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And no amount of me Googling these past few years has given me this answer. I was wondering if you could talk about it at all now, because back then you weren't really able to say much other than...
I still can't. It's the same project. I've been working on this movie for 11 years now.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like that's what it takes to get a movie made, and I've been working with John the entire time. And we had it set up at Amazon, and they had it for 4 years, and they just let it go like last week. So we are out to studios again. We've got a great cast. I think it'll get picked up. My script is amazing. But I still can't tell you what it is, and there's been no announcements. You can Google all you like, but it won't come up.
Yeah, I have.
Hopefully we'll announce it getting picked up by a studio in the next few months, but could be another 11 years for all I know.
The most valuable thing you just said, I mean, the attitude, confidence. Mm-hmm. He just gave a lesson in believing in yourself. Confidence, yeah. Secure in who and what you are. But I'm listening to that, and he's like, no apologies, just this is what I do. I'm real good,
Yeah, you have to believe in it, because otherwise 11 years of getting nothing out of it will kill you. So
I love that.
You just have to be a foolish optimist.
It's remarkable. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Hey everyone. So, as Billy said, the integral process of voice acting might actually be an entrepreneurial one. So, you got to kind of lock in for what might come when no work comes. How important is it to have a professional or well put together demo reel to display immediately if the opportunity comes? How important was it for you in your early career to have a put together demo reel?
It's important because you want prospective buyers of your brand, your talent, or whatever you want to call it, to know what you can do. And you got to make it short and sweet. It can't go on and on and on like you're trying to prove something. It should be like bit little, little hits, like magic, hit and run kind of stuff.
Right.
And you keep it short. I made the mistake of making these demos. Like I felt like I got so much to prove. Nobody knows who I am. I'm gonna just let them have it.
Here's 197 things right now in the next 10 minutes.
I know, and you know what it does? It winds up in the circular file, in the wastebasket, because no one has time for that stuff. And but is that what you're thinking of doing?
Well, I've been doing voices and streaming on Twitch since I was about 14. I'm 20
Really?
now. Yeah, and the one thing that I've never followed is, no matter what happens in life, you should still try to find a level of creative consistency. And at some point when I got out of the Army, I kind of dropped off there. But
Thank you for your service.
Oh, no, hey, mine was purely observatory. The time in service I had was given to me so that I could see the people go through what they went through, and which has led me to my new journey. But that's a whole different story. I'm now taking my talent somewhere else. But I see a lot of struggling content creators or people out of the gate who have so much talent, but they don't know how to hone that or how to project themselves. And as somebody who has tried and failed for 14 years, at least on the scale that I was thinking, honing my idea of success plus also my expectations of when it was going to happen has been a really big part of it.
You know what? You sound like you're in the right place, though. I mean, head-wise, because, it's almost that old thing about you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
No matter how you feel about it, it's like success never taught me anything. You're not going to be judged by how successful you were or how much money you made. You're going to be judged by what your product was and how it affected people and how you treated people in real life. That's what you get judged by. But the greatest lessons are through failures and the phone not ringing and the door not knocking.
Absolutely.
You get to sit and think about everything, and you think about yourself and you go, I have something to bring to the table. I have something to offer, damn it,
Yeah.
And that was all I wanted to do. I didn't care about being... Celebrity doesn't mean jack shit to me. They're not, celebrities aren't my heroes. Artists are my heroes. Composers and sculptors, frontline workers. Those are my heroes. Yeah, not celebrities.
Well, fortunately, it's true. You do learn a lot from failure, and luckily for you, there's a lot of that coming.
For sure.
So you're gonna get a lot of
I love
chances
failure.
to learn.
I'm a law of averages guy.
Look, I've had a nice career too. I've had over 20 years. I've made a living being a voice actor. I've been able to pay a mortgage and have kids and all that. And I've been on the greatest show ever for the last 15 seasons.
Totally.
And last year I called my agents and I said, are my reads okay? Did they fall off or something? They said, Chris, everyone is in voice acting now, and everyone who lives in Nebraska is in voice acting now. It used to be you were competing just against New York and LA.
Yep.
Now you're competing against the entire world.
Who can do it in their room.
Yeah, exactly.
Or try to.
Right. And they said, you're fine. And by the way, those other actors, those supremely talented actors you used to joke around in the lobby with 10, 15 years ago, some of them are out of the business altogether.
Yeah.
Right. So This is an unmerciful business. No one ever said it wasn't. And that doesn't mean you can't get in and make a wonderful career happen for yourself. It just means, like Billy says, and like David says, you have to believe in yourself, because there are going to be dark moments of the soul where it seems like no one else does.
Yeah, you're right.
It isn't just the rejection. It's just the apathy sometimes that you're greeted with. It's like, I sent that audition in 6 months ago. Still waiting to hear.
Imposter syndrome starts to set in. Like, am I as good as I think I am?
And it's fine. It's gonna be fine. And if you do it because you love it, that sometimes is the only nourishment you're gonna get. Yeah. But it'll be okay. If you really, I agree with Billy, and I met you earlier at my booth. You've got a good head on your shoulder.
And you got a good voice.
Hey,
you do have a nice
I can tell what's going on in there just from listening to you.
And if it wasn't so weird, most of my life has been sitting on Twitch and having people do impressions of the voices that you guys sit on stage and entertain us with today. So
it's a cheap parlor trick.
Yeah, I mean, being a chameleon is sometimes good, and I'm glad to be a vocal chameleon. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
But you didn't come by my booth.
I didn't see you.
The line was too long.
Yeah.
What? No.
I also am toting around.
Come by, because I have some insight. I
would
talk
love to
to
hear it.
everybody. I don't just go rubber stamp people. Hey, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good night.
I would love to. I would love to stop by. Next, when you guys are finished with this, I'll let the next question.
Yeah.
go.
Do you know who D. Baker is?
No, I don't.
D. Bradley Baker.
D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah.
He's all the clones on the Clone Wars, among a million other things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he's like a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I've worked with him for so long now. I've known him for 30-something years. And he has a website about something like, so you want to be a voice actor.
It's
I want to be a voice actor.
I want to be a voiceactor.com.
Yeah.
I want to be a voice.
And
plug.
And on there is everything you could possibly want to know about auditioning, demos, you know, it's like I'm trying to cut to the chase
Yeah.
because you have these questions, but go to that website.
I want to be a voiceactor.com.
Yes.
Yep.
And he has the wisdom because he earned it honestly. You know, he came by everything the hard way, just like most of us, you know.
From scratch.
I didn't get going until I was almost 40. You know? I was a drug addict and a drunk and, you know, rudder trouble and...
Billy, you were a great drug addict and drunk.
I was the greatest drug addict
Best
that ever addict.
Nobody addicted like Billy did.
I have my plan for the world is to turn the homeless into cheese. To feed the hungry. Oh, F me. I'm sorry.
No, that was so...
Like and subscribe. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. How do you like my comedy? Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Patreon. Go F
Cheese
me.
thing, man. That was so good. I'm sorry.
This is time. This will be our last question right here. Our last question.
Oh, okay.
Why? Are you that busy you have to leave?
No. I mean,
Are you that
guys,
busy?
You guys are busy at your tables and booths.
No. We want to help these guys.
Yeah, I need it.
I want to see you succeed. I'm going to be gone in about 10 years.
Never in anyone's
I'm
heart.
72. How long can you live?
Well, with your characters, probably a lot longer than
Oh, well,
you're
yeah,
saying.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
legacy
I don't care.
will live on. Come on.
Just make sure I'm cremated
But after he dies.
and thrown into a butte.
Timing is everything. From all the money each week.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay. Get it together. All right. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all three of you coming here, talking to us, taking the time. We
Thank
all
you.
know that you're very busy men, very talented. And so, just want to say, too, that I also resonate with that whole, you know, finding your hero. Who are your heroes? You got to find your hero within yourself.
That's right.
And that also helps us. I mean, as a frontline worker, too, I understand and vibe with that. 100% see what you guys are putting down, and I agree 100%. So
Thanks.
yeah. So just to make it short and sweet to Mr. David Hayter, I do have a question, and just for my own information and for my husband here, it's kind of a twofer really quick. What was one of your most memorable moments as a voice actor on Metal Gear Solid 4? And then what was something you struggled with and overcame and you're happy you did?
I don't remember anything particularly memorable.
It's okay.
Well, there was the shriveled snake story. I don't know if you...
Don't call me
Oh,
that.
God. No. You can't tease it like that.
Yeah, maybe that's not appropriate. You can look at my Twitter. I just posted that story. Mostly the thing about Old Snake was he's deteriorating throughout the game. So I wanted to start him out here, and then by the end, I wanted to be like his voice box was crumbling, and so the challenge was. We recorded it out of order. So I had to know from the director like what percentage of the game we were in to know how desiccated I had to sound. And so ideally, if you play the game, it sounds like he's getting worse and worse and worse as he goes. And so that was the big challenge, but it was a cool thing to, try to pull off.
Yeah, it just so happened to also be the most memorable. Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Great day.
Thank you, Florida.
You guys give a huge round of applause. And the party doesn't have to end here. You can go meet with them at their booths, get an autograph, and continue to keep talking with them. Everybody, David, Billy, and Chris, one more time, a huge round of applause.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.